How many men should a woman have? There are two options. Some say that a woman shouldn't have any relationship experience at all, and others declare that it doesn't matter what was before you. What matters is what happens after. In my view, the first one and the second options are wrong to some extent. Why? The fact is that even the most easily accessible and partying woman once had no man. This did not stop her from becoming such a woman in the future. Unfortunately, in the modern world, when you choose a woman without a dating experience, it's a pig in a poke. You have no idea what she will be like in a few years. A modest, shy, and timid girl who gets embarrassed around men already 2 or 3 years after the start of intimacy will change. But like what? We don't know. Maybe this may sound a little rude, but a person's previous relationships, in particular women's, is kind of a test drive. You can look at the result. Pay attention how she behaved in different situations and understand what to expect from her. So we take two girls who haven't had any relationship, and they will be very similar. Their reactions, behavior, how they can get embarrassed and blush. But one of them will become a kind and loyal wife, but the second one a wild child. There is another popular misconception that with every new relationship a person can become better, to work on their mistakes and grow wiser. But it's not true. In fact, if the relationship is over, then it's a negative background that'll only get in the way. The most popular comment on the channel from men and women both is that I tried to be a nice person, but it didn't work at all. In practice, it turns out that with each new relationship, a person wastes his ability to love. I'm not talking about the love psychosis, but about healthy interchange and gratitude. As a person ages, often with every new bad experience becomes more cynical. The thing that I'm talking about can be proved. Go to any dating website. At 20, a girl often she just wants to fall in love. But at 30 or maybe 35, one of the first questions is, what do you do that is money? And it's not even that she's mercantile. She simply does not bet on love, but in comfort. Why? Because she's disappointed in her personal life. She had several failed relationships or a divorce. With a sweet paradise and in a hut is in the past, and now she's not ready to invest in a relationship like that anymore. A woman no longer thinks like that. If we are together, then that's it. Forever. No. She either just wants to fall in love or get comfort. Both options, let's say, dead ends. Get comfort means that you will be a donor. Sooner or later, you will hear a claim that you didn't pay attention, help, and support. It doesn't seem like a healthy inner exchange. It turns out that a man should work hard for the relationship because a woman simply exists. And because she's still with you, period. And a woman obviously can fall in love. But as practice shows, not forever. Why? But with every new relationship, the intensity of experiences decreases. People often connected by common vivid strong experiences. The first time she says that she loves, first meeting with her parents, first adult trip with a man to the sea, first intimacy, first wedding, child. The thing is that a person I want to emphasize that he will never be able to live similar events with the same intensity of feelings as at the first time. And that means that every next relationship from an emotional point of view becomes duller. The relationship can turn into a predictable mediocrity. It's like a movie. You're watching a Hollywood blockbuster and it doesn't drag you in like it did in the past. The film seems to be fresh and new, just like a man from Tinder. But you already know in advance that the main character will get into a fight, and then the whole movie he will chase after the villains to punish them. He will be on the verge of surviving, but this one can't really get you excited. because you know that a happy ending awaits you in the end. When a movie ends, you say, well, it's okay. It used to be better, although it wasn't better before. It's the same for women. For example, in the first relationship or in the second, it wasn't better. It was just for the first time for her. Therefore, a woman can believe in the first relationship, second, maybe third. But if there were more, especially if she had an experience of short-term relationships, love romances, which is not customary to talk about. Women never talk about this. For what? It turns out that your story with her is yet another one. Why did I say that old relationships are always a negative background? Because it's a traumatic experience. Women, just like men, may experience many phobias, fears, and concerns. And you'll be the one to solve all these issues inside her head. The first one cannot trust a man. The second blows your mind and waits for betrayal. The third one tries to be prideful and independent because she was hurt once. She says, I know you, man. But in fact, she doesn't. Because she remembers the meanness of one man who treated her bad 5 years ago. Moreover, if a woman had a lot of relationships, a lot of men, then she gets tempted to make a kind of transformer who should look like her ex named Sasha. Earn money like Boris, joke like Nikita, and be gallant like Valentine. But it's impossible, you may say. It's not important. What's important is that there was such an experience. Now I want to make an important addition. Of course, there is an exception to the rule. That's a situation when a woman didn't party, didn't have an open relationship, or romances, but she was unlucky in finding a man. But only a few people appreciate a kind woman, and in most cases they can, well, just, let's say, ditch her. It's not her fault. This simply cannot discredit her. That's why if a kind woman meets a decent person, for example you in your early 30s, then the relationship can work out well despite of the sad background. But if you know that the woman ended the relationship under the slogan that our relationship had reached a dead end, you're not improving, our ways diverged, we're different. You can't expect anything good from such a woman. If a woman left a man at least once in her life for a reason of losing feelings, then to make it again, to cross the line, will be very easy. I found a very interesting foreign research. The link to it will be in the video description. The sampling I want to highlight is thousands of pairs. Graph number 1, I'll show it here. This is a satisfaction graph, the degree of satisfaction with a relationship. As you see, the first group is when a woman had only one man. The second group from 2 to 4. The third from 5 to 9. The fourth more than 10. We understand that there's a direct correlation. The more partners she had, the lower the potential for a new satisfying relationship. Now let's move on to the graph number 2. It estimates the probability of divorce if she had one partner. Then this is, as we see, an increased protection of a relationship. If it was from 2 to 4, the probability is a little higher. If it was from 5 to 9, then probability of a divorce is sharply increasing. And for the most women, that's how it was. But if more than 10, then everything is super sad. Well, the last graph shows the degree of attraction to a partner, how satisfied the woman will be with intimacy with you in a long-term relationship. If there was only one partner or from 2 to 4, then the difference is kind of small. But if it was from 5 to 9 or more than 10, then everything is very sad again. Now pay attention, the blue bar is data for men, the purple one is for women. A large number of partners has a more detrimental effect on a woman. Based on the research, yes, the difference is small, but nonetheless. What conclusions can be drawn? I'm absolutely sure that it's not the number of partners that is primary, but the beliefs that make this possible for a woman. Every third consultation is a story. When a man asks about the wife who had no one before him, but this didn't stop her from cheating or leaving in the future. However, we can meet a really decent woman who had well, two men or maybe three who left her. It turns out that every time she sincerely wanted to build a family, but they left her because she was boring. Therefore, blindly focus on how many men and women have had. Well, let's say it's not really right. A woman who's had two men may be better than an innocent girl. This happens quite often. There is nothing strange about it. Well, it seemed to me that it was obvious if a woman had an open relationship. If she had intimacy just for fun, then choosing such a person for life is insane. Only a crazy person or a person in a state of a temporary insanity can do this. But many men don't think so. Why? It's simple, they live like that themselves, or they want to live like this woman. Be honest, if right now a top model was ready to come to your home, she's ready for anything, and you? If you agree to this, if you sign up for this, then you're not ready to have a good relationship. Forget about it. You just don't want them. Well, with such a lifestyle, you can only be attracted to a problematic, lustful woman. And if you suddenly by chance meet a good one, then you'll lose interest. And all these childish excuses. What's wrong with that? All I want is just once. I don't have a wife or a girlfriend yet. I'm still young. This is my physiological need that must be satisfied. But you're lying to yourself and becoming dumber. Recently, I saw one movie and there was a very cool quote in it. You can't deceive an honest person. Honest with yourself, of course. You definitely have a friend to whom you are trying to give a relationship advice and he says, nah, it's another case and all the content is so nonsense. It seemed to you that he just didn't understand something yet. Nah, the point is different. His world at this moment is full of excuses. And when the truth starts to reach him, he gets angry and avoids the conversation. He is ready to use any trick just to maintain his existing understanding of the relationship. Do not destroy it. A dialogue with him at this moment is futile. He can fall into the same trap and get bumps, and if you tell him, go watch the channel. But later, when he's finally cornered, he'll watch and say yes. There are some good advices, I agree with some things, but at some point this verdict exaggerates. He's too radical. If only he knew how true each advice is. And now the most important thing, why, despite everything I just told you, there is no need to focus on how many men a woman has had. Number one, there are even studies about this. I won't give a link, you can find them on the internet. That women understate the number of partners and men overstate. It's known. They can simply lie to you. It's first. Two, it's perhaps the most important. She might not made it in time. There are 1,001 reasons which slowed her down. But it may not lie in her morality, not in her principles, and not that she's family-oriented. I will only tell you one of the most popular scenarios. Very popular, once a week, for sure I hear about that. He had a relationship with his wife, everything is mostly fine, but at some point the woman says, like, my dear, I need 20,000 grand for breast surgery. Well, they're small or just missing, you got me. I just can't talk about it on YouTube. So the man gives her money, and she makes it? And then just starts going crazy. This is what restricted her, what limited her. This is what she had a complex about, and therefore she didn't try to cheat. Sounds stupid, but you know, this has been confirmed more than once, twice, or even 10 times with real-life stories. Therefore, what does this graph actually show? In fact, they actually show how beliefs affect the likelihood of normal relationships. It's first. Two, if you dig even deeper. These graphs illustrate that the more a woman is driven by lust, the lower the likelihood of a stable family. A lustful woman can be with just one man. That's what you need to focus on. What can I recommend if you are currently looking for a woman, for family, a decent woman, and you don't know how to find her? There is a separate course on how to find a nice woman. There, all illustrations are given. You can start it tomorrow. It's one. Two, if you are in a complicated relationship right now, We have to make a difficult decision to figure out why scenario went that way. The course, What Women Are Like. If you want to better understand the mechanics of women falling in love, it's a course Hacking Female Affection. All of them are recent courses. They're my best products and I'm not shy to offer them to you. The link to the site is in the first pinned comment. Thank you all for watching.